It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay By Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
St. Lucia, are you ready to tease your way to the World Creole Music Festival 2025 in Dominica? NBC and Real FM is giving one lucky fan the ultimate getaway, an all-expense-paid trip to the Nature Island for 3 nights of non-stop rhythm, culture, and unforgettable vibes. Here's how to enter. Step 1, follow us on Instagram at Real FM Official. 2, post a video up to 90 seconds long telling us why you deserve to be at the World Creole Music Festival 2025. Be bold, be creative, and show your passion for Creole music and culture. Step 3, tag us and send a collaboration invite to at Real FM Official so your video appears on both our pages. Step 4, get those likes up. The video with the most likes by October 10th wins the prize: round-trip airfare, comfy accommodation, and all-access pass to the World Creole Music Festival 2025 to enjoy Dominica to the fullest. But hurry, the contest runs from August 11th to October 10th, and the winner will be announced on October 11th. This opportunity is open to all St. Lucians aged 21 and over. Only 1 entry per person, so make it count. Don't just dream about the festival. Tease your way there, only with NBC and Real FM.
Powered by Discover Dominica.
Gotta go with you. I gotta go with you. I gotta go with you.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Thursday afternoon to you, everyone. I'm going to get it right this time, Jaquan. It is the 21st day of the month of August 2025. This is The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, alongside Terry Fenelon once again. Our program, as you know, airs weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on the radio station, the Real FM, that serves you on two frequencies, 91.3 megahertz for the north, 91.5 for the south. And we simulcast on NBC Television, our sister TV station, all part of the McDowell Broadcasting Corporation Group. We're also available on Facebook Live and YouTube live streaming. Hope you're having a good day so far. I see no reason why you shouldn't. It's a beautiful day. I'll tell you one of the things that makes it not so beautiful. There's a disturbing video about garbage. That's the one I'm going to play first, Jaquan, in just a moment. And you haven't heard me talk about it for a while. It's because I thought, based on my observations, not that it's picture perfect, but that it's better than it used to be before. But that's kind of disturbing. But before I get to that, which one would you have first, Jaquan? Would you happen to have that little still short about a person who's been calling people saying that they're calling from The Real Issues? Okay, that's not a video clip, but I've received messages, and in fact, Teresa, I know you were trying to call me earlier, but anytime it's midday and after, it's impossible to get me. I'm buried in watching our midday lunchtime news, the NBC News and so on. I just believe it's absolutely essential for any talk show host to be as informed as possible, and even then I don't always do a good job. So trying to call me once you see it's midday and after. I'm watching our news and I'm finalizing my preparations. In fact, Terry Fenelon and many others will tell you that I get here in the nick of time for the program, and it is because I insist on watching at least our news bulletin. If I don't know what's on our own news, I consider myself to be, an absolute loser in that regard. So I try to stay well informed. The talk show host should be watching a variety of things. But then another member of the Real Issues WhatsApp chat group, a former senator, a person that I respect quite a lot, messaged me from overseas where she resides to tell me that this person that you see on screen, that she was able to capture this image of an individual, contacted us saying that they are from the Real Issues group and they're inviting her to some Zoom call. And the person says, I respectfully made the call short and decided to report and blocked her after. Okay, so I asked, did you get her name or any sort of identification? What did she want to speak with you about? And the member of the group told me, she said she was Bridget and sounded African. No details, just that it's a Zoom call at 8 tonight. I don't know what kind of game. I have authorized no one. To the best of my knowledge, the only admin for Real Issues is myself, and I can't remember, is Nigel one of our admins and so on. Our station manager, Nigel Nicholas, who actually was the one who set up the group when I came back 3.5 years ago. He set up the group, and he may have, for the purpose of guiding and getting us going through our little initial challenges and teething issues. Maybe Nigel is still an admin. I don't know. I suspect he may have pulled himself out once he was satisfied and that the group was settled. So Nigel, once again, thank you very much for that. And then another person actually tried to call me just before I left to come on. I said, someone called me about a Zoom meeting tonight at 8 p.m. on Real Issues. Is that true? It's not true. I have organized no Zoom meeting on Real Issues. It would be impossible to manage a Zoom meeting on Real Issues, which has more than 300 members. Can you imagine us trying to have a Zoom meeting where this person wants to weigh in and give their 2 cents and a little bit and so on? I mean, it would be absolutely chaotic. We won't do that. So let me just tell you, I don't know whether it's one of those West African scammers, which are notorious for that, from Nigeria, Ghana mostly, and so on. If you look at the numbers, they usually begin at 234 plus 234. Or whether it's somebody else trying to do something chaotic, but they cannot be admitted into membership in the group without me approving it. So if it's an infiltration tactic, I don't know. But I'm just going to tell you, this one coming from Real Issues, it's not true. If it were, I would have known about it. So much for that. You saw, I think, the face. It may not be their face at all, though. But I think, for whatever it's worth, we had that on. All right, good. Jaquan, let's play this short video clip, and before you do, I'll tell you exactly when to press the button. Or someone who put this on, and they, as frustrated as you probably have heard me and others like What's the name of this ex-police gentleman again? He's an ex-police. He's been on the real issues with me. I just forgot him because he was the one, I think, who sent it to me. About people dumping garbage everywhere. And sometimes it's not that it's loose, random items. It is bagged. And the route that those people take to get there, they pass places and facilities and receptacles where they could dispose of the garbage safely. They have collection days and they know what days the garbage truck passes. They know what is the day for bulky waste collection and so on. But for some reason, there seems to be some thrill in dumping the garbage, and even like as if they're trying to hide it in places where the collection people will never see it, will never believe it is there. In little shrub areas where the bush grows and partially covers it, And this time the individual described it as being, I suppose, the Bois d'Orange to Corinth bypass or whatever, that people are dumping garbage there. I've seen it happen in some places, and I'm wondering, what is it that's in there that you're afraid or ashamed of people? I don't think the garbage people, they go and untie the bags, to put it, they're glad to take the whole bags and so on. What's in there? Incriminating evidence, some fetus or what? I don't know, but people are just doing this thing over and over and over again. And I've had to ask myself, the criminal tendency and the criminal impulse in us, is that one of the ways that it manifests itself? Why would someone want to do such violence, such brutality against their own little space, a 238 square mile country? We don't have that kind of space of reserve. We don't have that kind of, depth of field, if I can borrow a phrase from photography and so on, that we can take a major environmental hit and we'll be okay after that. We hear about woodlands and shrublands and whatever, and wildfires in the United States and in Spain and in Portugal, out of control. But compared to St. Lucia, these countries are incredibly, inconceivably big. They can take the hit of a wildfire burning down half of their country, and it's never so much really, and they can just retreat to the other side of it and it don't matter. Not St. Lucia. We mess around with this tiny country of ours and we have no resort and no recourse. It will affect us sometimes for years down the road. Garbage disposal is more than just the unsightliness of it. It is the vermin, it is the vectors, the disease-carrying organisms like rats, like cockroaches, like flies and so on, that they harbor. A fly that is resting on some garbage that is disposed somewhere, you don't know where it can find itself. Many years ago, before they did a very scientific project and facility with the Cicero garbage dump, there was a school in Lower Cicero. It was a problem for them. Flies used to just swarm and come. They kept the garbage dump, but they did it in a manner that was a lot more technologically modern and advanced and so on, and they controlled it and whatever. And this problem went. We don't know where the rats, which can carry any range of diseases, including a very dangerous one called leptospirosis. Thankfully, it is rare. It is dangerous because the symptoms of leptospirosis mimic the symptoms of so many other things that even doctors, you present to them feeling unwell with leptospirosis, and sometimes after 2-3 visits that they will realize, hey, this isn't something that I can give that individual another round of Panadols. And by that time your kidney is gone already. This is affected inside of you because leptospirosis symptoms, so many other things. It's not that the doctor's incompetent. You don't want to take chances with something like that. People, let us stop this. Let's play the clip.
Good morning, St. Lucia. This is the bypass at Bois d'Orange. It looked like hair turned day glow. Can you believe some of St. Lucian dumping all their garbage from their home or if it's restaurants right here at the bypass close to the riverbank? And when they're complaining, the Prime Minister this, the rep is this. Are you telling me the Prime Minister is supposed to come all the way there and our rep, the grocery rep, supposed to go all the way there and clean that? How some Lucians so nasty, untidy? Look at the state of at the back of Bois d'Orange. This is an area that always flooding. This is an area that always flooding. Check it out. Look at that. Nasty St. Lucians, some of them. And you're complaining every day.
Terry,
My word.
I don't want to take a lot of time, but I'll tell you some other place I saw this happening.
My word.
In the promenade, the Beauséjour cricket ground promenade, that area there.
Uh-huh.
One day there was a car show there, whatever. In fact, I think I may have made the order for my vehicle at that car show and so on, which was put on by JQ Motors and so on. And I went there, and with some friends after I saw the vehicle that I wanted, and a couple of friends and I sat down having a little drink and so on. And I decided to just take a little walk and so on. And I looked in the area where there's a ravine, a waterway on the side there. And they did such a good job planting ornamental trees, orchids and so on in that area and so on. And I'm looking, and I'm saying the place looks so beautiful. And I have a weakness for greenery, for shrubbery, I can just sit somewhere and just be watching trees and so on and enjoying the wind, the little sway of them and the occasional bird that will come and you watch it and a mongoose will poke out its head, I suppose, hoping to pounce on one of the birds and this kind of thing. And I'm looking and I'm seeing bags and piles of garbage inside that ravine that is probably coming from the Kaimaji side or wherever it is, Bonte and so on, and passing through there. And it's a good thing it's dry season at the time, but it's blocked up with garbage and Lord knows what is inside there. And I'm saying, but wait, someone happens to find themselves on the Beauséjour promenade. You can't be telling me there's no other area they can put it. Instead of tossing it there into the ravine, where it will be concealed, where it will be obscured by the bush and nobody will imagine it's there unless you look for it. Why don't you just put it by the side of the promenade, and either you call or the solid waste people will know or be told that it is there and they will take it. But they try to throw it away in a manner that it is out of sight, that it is not immediately detected and discerned. And I'm just trying to get into the minds of people who do that. What is the psychology behind that? And honestly, it beats me, but over to you.
But we didn't get it's not something that we got now, Charlie. Sometimes you look at the kids when they do that and they litter, and you ask them to clean up after them. It's a problem. I remember once a parent told me no uncertain terms, although the child littered, she has not sent the child for that. The child littered, they were literally throwing things, and she was encouraging them not to pick it up. You understand? Sometimes we have that kind of mindset, so sometimes we grew up with that and we get out in the society and that's what we get.
I'm just getting a message. Someone regularly drops off garbage on the VG roundabout. The dogs have a field day. My goodness me.
And not just the VG, well, I go to the beach very regularly, and sometimes Shelton, although there have been splits along the beach, I think you could count at least 20 garbage bins. People will still throw things outside.
And the beach is supposed to be a place you relax. You do a little bit of barefoot jogging and so on. And I'm afraid of that, because you never know where the verbutai might be in the sun. And
there are times, when I reach in the morning and Shelton, I see the garbage, and you know what you call it? You get degu.
Yeah.
Because your body just changes. Come on. It bothers me, and so what I saw there, Shelton, this is alarming. I am in shock. People would actually do that. Yeah. This is serious. It tells us a lot about the mindset of our people. We don't respect the environment.
Right. Miguel, good day to you. Miguel, of course, not with us today, and he sends a message saying that he's locked in and he's on the road. Stay safe, my brother. Whatever you're doing, I wish you the best possible outcome and success in it. There's something else that I wanted to mention. I was watching at a TV program last night, a talk show, regular Wednesday night, Newsmaker Live, and the guest was Alan Chastney. I find it difficult. I showed it's a duty as a talk show host, but I find it very difficult to listen to Mr. Chastney at length and to... it seemed like always a réchauffé of the same découché over and over again. And each time trying to say it with greater conviction and defending policies and things that he did that is almost universally agreed were misguided, mistaken, were failures, and that they did, to try to defend bringing in Ernst and Young.
$1 million instead of 45 million.
And he says, it's $1 million. Whether it was $1 million or 45 million, The question is, what was the need and the rationale, the necessity and the justification for doing that? You know, it's basically like you said, the people who used to do the budget and so on for us, like they were they were good for John Compton, the venerable John Compton. They were good for Kenny Anthony, but suddenly they were not good enough for you. And the other thing which you need to ask yourself with Shasney is, if it is not true, how come the Labour Party and others have been pounding that thing ever since you did it for so many years, and you never came out to say it? It's only now you come in and saying it was just $1 million. It's not true and all that sort of thing. So, you know, we need to. But here's the other thing which I wanted to. Shasney was set right, was corrected in the House of Assembly by Investment Minister Ernest Hilaire when he tries to continue pushing the line that government sold the port, that they gave the port away. And Hilaire took the agreement and went through it and said, oh, they sold it for $1 and this sort of thing. We had this issue many years ago when the Danes bought land at Ballenbush, and Park Estate or whatever it was that they bought land there. And at the end of it all, the land was transferred to them for the token sum of $1, which really is just a formality for the final stamp duty, whatever you do. But the cost of the land had been already been taken care of in the payments that they made over a period of time. In fact, I think they paid it way ahead of the time schedule that they'd given them. It's nothing strange where you understand you give a contract to somebody to build, if it's halls of justice, under the build, own, lease, transfer, the bolt arrangement and so on. That at the end of the day, you know, they may pay you $1 or whatever it is, but the money has been taken out over the time, lease transfer for the lease or whatever the rentals and so on, they were getting it. Antigua has a similar, what they call a concessional agreement, where GPH upgrades the ports, builds the piers that are necessary for bigger cruise ships, what they call the Oasis class ships and so on. Shasney is making it sound like it's a real thing here that they do, and not the deep, heavy construction that involves piling, that involves dredging, that involves so many very advanced construction techniques. And construction, marine construction, where you have to build things in water, in seawater, you have to take account of tides, of currents, of all of the forces, the depth of the seabed, the permeability, a whole lot of things you have to take cognizance of, and the advanced engineering that must go into it. But the man is not saying anything about the SLASPA debt that GPH as part of the agreement pays off. Concessionary. The man is not going to mention anything about the piers and other construction that they have to do. He's not going to mention anything about GPH's contribution to Anchorage, development, and now recently Jeremy Street Plaza and other things that are yet there for them to do. It's like the government just gave everything, hook, line, and sinker, that they sold everything. They sold us downriver to GPH for $1. I mean, what madness is it that the government is going to sell this kind of, port land in a harbor, in a sheltered harbor, that British and French fought 14 times, We have the video, I have it too, so we can play that.
Or I can read something there quickly.
Yeah, but let me just finish a quick point. And the guy just goes on and on. And Ernest Hilaire is pointing out to him that you cannot read this agreement in isolation, where you focus only on the $1 token formality at the end of it all. It's a 30-year thing where they will take all the risk and liabilities of what it costs, and the money that they spend on it, that they front on it, they will have to make it back from what they collect and share with us and so on. It's like it's on that. But in the same breath, Terry, somebody calls who sounded like Shazi to me, and they take him to task over agreements like Diamol and so on. And he is very quick to lecture Shazi that you cannot read the agreement like that. You cannot read it in isolation. You have to look at the whole agreement. You cannot just go on this amount and so on. You have to look at, 10 million, it was not so much as you're saying, but for the 10 million, this is what they did, and they will have to transfer the top floor, the bottom floor to us. In other words, he is setting Shazi right on the very things that he himself is failing to do. Go ahead, Terry.
No, you use the concessionary agreement. There's also something called a peppercorn agreement. Let me just read that quickly, because yesterday council or the day before. A peppercorn agreement or peppercorn rent refers to a situation where a very small, often nominal amount of rent is paid in a lease agreement, typically as you said, a token to satisfy the legal requirement for consideration. It signifies that the rent is not the primary financial component of the agreement, and the lease is often essentially rent-free. Now, there's also the other one. I want to read it. You know why I took it this morning from a flubble who has always given the Prime Minister, talking about concessionary agreements. Concessionary agreement, as Una said, anyone can Google concession agreements to determine the elements of such agreements. One of the elements is a rental clause. However, concession agreements need not to be registered in a registry, but since the rental clause prevents the substantive owner from dealing with the premises occupied, there has to be a separate and distinct agreement apart from the concession agreement. Such a document is a lease, tenancy, rental agreement, and is registered in the land registry on a registry of deeds and mortgages. In contrast, originally signed initial concession agreements are held by the two parties, but are not. The reason why the lease agreement has to be registered is to prevent the substantive owner from encumbering the property and to allow the concessioner to raise financing. That is one of the things. GPH would not have been able to raise any financing if they did not have title. You understand? And a lease agreement is the preferred option if a nominal lease of $1 annually over the life of the lease. So, basically, improvements, etc., etc. So basically, as he's correctly said, you cannot read that in isolation. So to pretend that the pot, and Spider said the same thing. There's somebody from Canada who came down to say we sold 60,000 passports, but they sent her back because she was speaking without authority. And these are the kind of people who want to come to tell us what is happening. You have lied, you'll have no credibility. So basically, as Ernest explained in the House, this was for the rent. It's a peppercorn agreement. It's a nominal fee. So you agree, you'll be undertaking that at this and so on. So to say that the pots were sold out, this is really...
And he's trying to equate a 30-year concessional agreement with a 99-year lease or sale or whatever he did. If the DSH thing was so easy and it were not anywhere on the scale of what you claim GPH is, then mister, why is it so hard to get our land back from TOR King? This thing has to go through all kinds of...
And it's threatening to take us to court for $2 billion.
Yeah, all kinds of things.
And we got nothing from GPH.
Exactly.
Nothing.
This thing is looking on an order worse than the Grindberg thing that they had so much to say about. At least we got ourselves out of whatever it was with Grindberg. It went to international court for the mediation of disputes and so on. This one may have to go there again, And we may be on the hook for $2 billion. Yeah, this is the kind of thing. He's setting the
recklessness of this guy.
Yeah. And he will continue to repeat it. We sold the port. A 30-year agreement. At the end of 30 years, there could be an option to renew. But if the government says we're not renewing and this is our port, you think GPH can pick up the port and go with it? You think they can do that? Whoever it is, the man comes out. And you know what it tells me about Alan Chasney? The man is unremorseful. He's impenitent. There is nothing that Chasney has been criticized for that I have heard him come and say, well, at the time, these were the situations. We looked at it this way, but the situation has changed in the world. Everything Chasney did, he was absolutely right. He got it, he got it totally perfect. And there was nothing wrong with it. And this is a man who has that obsessive need to show that he is the sharpest of sharp knives in the drawer,
And we know he's not.
Anyway, it looks like we've come to the point where we need to take a break. Let's take it now, and then when we come back, a few more words from us, and we will keep to our word of opening the phone lines earlier than we were in times past, the custom of doing. Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
St. Lucia, are you ready to tease your way to the World Creole Music Festival 2025 in Dominica? NBC and Real FM is giving one lucky fan the ultimate getaway, an all-expense-paid trip to the Nature Island for 3 nights of non-stop rhythm, culture, and unforgettable vibes. Here's how to enter. Step 1, follow us on Instagram at Real FM Official. 2, post a video up to 90 seconds long telling us why you deserve to be at the World Creole Music Festival 2025. Be bold, be creative, and show your passion for Creole music and culture. Step 3, tag us and send a collaboration invite to at Real FM Official so your video appears on both our pages. Step 4, get those likes up. The video with the most likes by October 10th wins the prize: round-trip airfare, comfy accommodation, and all-access pass to the World Creole Music Festival 2025 to enjoy Dominica to the fullest. But hurry, the contest runs from August 11th to October 10th, and the winner will be announced on October 11th. This opportunity is open to all St. Lucians aged 21 and over. Only 1 entry per person, so make it count. Don't just dream about the festival. Tease your way there, only with NBC and Real FM.
Powered by Discover Dominica.
Gotta go with you. I gotta go with you. I gotta go with you.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Appreciate you staying with The Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters. I'm your host and producer, Shelton Daniel, alongside my co-host and co-producer, Terry Fenelon, our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. And I tell you, I just like to see the boy on the evenings, in the NBC Prime, his poise, his attire and so on. He's developed so much in such a short space of time. Keep going, Jaquan. Keep looking for every opportunity to learn and to improve. Never feel that you've arrived. It's always a journey, and you always have to be recommitted to it on every single occasion. But I think you're off to a very good part and start of it and so on. I try not to take on things where I have to be repeating and quoting and showcasing and displaying things that I disagree with, and I want to respect people's right to express themselves. The problem that I have is when people believe that they are soothsayers and prophets and whatever it is that they know, or psychics, that they have some kind of arcane or esoteric ability to know what's going on in people's minds and in their hearts and so on. And you hear me criticizing Guy Joseph about the things he said. I'm not a judge of his heart or his soul, and I'm not going to come out and say that the things he's saying means he's beyond redemption. Jamais la porte by ciel. I don't go that far. That's when you are engaging in the kind of judgment that you were told not to engage in, and which I think he's engaging in. I listened to Jimmy Haynes in a post on Facebook with a picture of Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre, Deputy Prime Minister Ernest Hilaire, doing that Colin Kaepernick, taking the knee.
Taking the knee. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. That's what he says they were doing. Okay. St. Lucia, take a look at this picture. Tell me, what do you see? I see Philip J. Pierre and Ernest Hilaire taking the knee in support of Black Lives Matter. There's nothing wrong with that if it were genuine. And that's where I got put off. How do you know they're not genuine? What have Ernest Hilaire and or Philip J. Pierre done that represents a contradiction, that represents a hypocritical variation from their support for Black Lives Matter? How do you know what's genuine? The UWP seems to be increasingly leaning in the side and in the direction of sitting in judgment of people. Sitting in judgment. Yet you have people coming on the UWP platform making statements that are laced with racism about everything on this side is white and nice and dandy, and like he's confused about where he's left and right, left, right, and then you have to be confused for those kinds of things, because you are caught in your own, in your own snare, in your own trap, and everything on this side is so and so and black, like Philip J. Pierre. When you say this kind of things, and I have heard no comeback of let us distance ourselves from this sort of thing. I've heard nothing like that. You have people on your platform coming and talk about confronting people with ammunition and seeing to it that no politician of the Labour Party can show his face in Viewfort. What is that? A coded, encrypted, barely disguised call for Kenny Anthony, who it's known Peter Josie don't like at all because Kenny ended his political career in 1997. He never could rise again in any. He ran elections, I think, for what? He and Odlum in 2001.
But the staff party got more votes than him.
Yeah, nobody even remembers. Kenny finished him off once and for all.
Yeah.
All his dirty attempts about how Kenny and who were coming from Guyana and briefcase of money coming, how many years? 30, 40 years after, he remember that. But how do you know they're not genuine? Let me just read on a little. But the truth is, these men don't truly care about black lives, yellow lives, brown lives, or white lives. Their primary concern is power in Philip's case and money and power in Ernest's case. How you got past judgment on what have they done that has been a betrayal of black people or black lives? Here in St. Lucia, all lives matter. All lives matter, but we know what has been happening in the United States and so on. And funny, you don't hear this kind of issues arising in Britain or in France, not on the scale that they're rising in the United States, which is supposed to be the pioneer of freedom, of liberation, of the equality of men and those kind of things. And it's not going to get better under this person who's leading the United States now, Donald Trump. But Jimmy is sitting in judgment. He knows what's going on. He knows what's in their heart. And I say, how so very harmonized with Guy Joseph, who lately seems to be telling people that, your salvation depends not upon faith in Jesus Christ and obedience and the grace of God and the love of God. By grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourself, it is the gift of God. Your salvation now is whether you are a supporter of the UWP or the Labour Party, because God could not, they say God caused, no, there's no way God could have put Philip J. Pierre in power and these kinds of statements. And like I said, this is not the Labour Party you're damaging. You're damaging those you're preaching to and who choose to listen to you, who believe in you. But then you go in now and you're sitting in judgment. Here's the other thing. They took a knee to create the impression that they care about you, the black man, and make you believe that Alan Shass did. The white man doesn't. Yet these so-called Black Lives Matter lovers came into office. 311 black people have been murdered. Additionally, 322 black lives were lost to COVID-19 during their tenure. Okay, let's say you want to pin the crime on Ernest and Philip. COVID-19? COVID? They're the ones who caused people to die, COVID? Jimmy, do you know which country was worst hit by COVID? Do you know which country? COVID took down the most people and so on. United States, America, yeah. Sophisticated, advanced, wealthy United States. COVID made a servant with them. They didn't know what to do about it. A lot of the problems with vaccines that people have, just like the problem with planes now, is of the United States letting its competitive nature that we have to be number one take over. That vaccines that they did not sufficiently test and trial and so on, that they rushed it into production. How do they call it? The mRNA vaccines and whatever it is. The vaccines that came from the UK in the early days, which they used blueprints of earlier vaccines, and what they did was that they transferred certain things that they had already, a track record, and they were along the learning curve. It does the same way the Boeing planes. The European consortium Airbus is making a lot of headway in aircraft development and whatever. Boeing feels that, oh my goodness, these guys are doing. So they take a lot of planes that have not been adequately tested, that the MAX 737, whatever, and they rush them into production. What is supposed to be old technology, what is supposed to be, no rocket science anymore about the pressurizing of a plane in flight, aircraft doors are blowing out. It's supposed to be something that, it's such settled, industrial technology and manufacturing of aircraft. Boeing is having those issues, rushing things into production. So there were a lot of things that were not right with the COVID-19. It took the world by storm and by surprise. The same president of the US now, who's back again, wasted too much time putting the full weight of the US health service and whatever behind it, because it's China. He still has two things. Trump is obsessed with China and Obama. So he's doing all kind of things, starting wars, creating problems, and then want to go and organize ceasefire because he's obsessed with getting a Nobel Peace Prize because Obama got it. These are the things now. All sorts of magie is being purveyed about St. Lucia, and it's like there's nothing worse that can happen to St. Lucia but losing our visa free. It would be unfortunate, of course, but none of this is borne out by any official diplomatic channel announcement. Shasney will always have some alarmist, crying wolf thing about our visa is being lost. What can you do when you have someone as erratic as the current president of the United States, in office in the White House? You can never do anything right. You can wake up tomorrow and find all of a sudden somebody remind him of a country called St. Lucia, and boom, that's it, 200% tariffs on them, and all visa-free access is cancelled. You can't do anything. Nobody can blame themselves. Nobody can incriminate themselves. Nobody can say through my fault, through my own grievous fault. Nobody can feel guilty or take on a guilt trip with Donald Trump. You don't know where you stand with him. So, but now everything is about, it's something about CIP, it's something so and so that they're doing that are visa free. But no official diplomatic channel or no website of State Department bears this out. His Alan Shastley was appointed himself to be the spokesman for the United States government on matters pertaining to St. Lucia, saying things for America that America is not saying itself. The guy's head is just full that he's some kind of American emissary and that he speaks for the United States. This nonsense has been going on with him for a long time. That is why you wonder where his head is at. Is his head in St. Lucia with things St. Lucian, or is it more in the quixotic world of imagining that he's some kind of, extraterritorial American representative and so on. And you come there with this thing. It's the same foolishness. Chancellor speaking for United States. He had Martinez doing it. Now he's trying to do it for himself. Now you know that Pip and Ernest, they're taking the knee out. I won't bother to read the rest of that. I won't bother to read it.
Is that Jimmy Haynes of the Soufre Foundation?
Soufre Foundation fame. And a lot of people are saying that the reason why he is so intense is because he wants to come back to continue where he left off. A lot of people are saying that. You've never heard me talk about him, but stop trying to get into people and to pronounce on their motives, to say what is in the heart and so on. You do not know. I hear you all like to talk about Bible. Well, here's one for you all. I think it's in 1 Samuel. When the prophet Samuel was sent to a city called Bethlehem, to the household of a man called Jesse, who had 12 sons, and said, one of these sons I will show you, you will anoint him to be the king. Samuel went, and every one of the sons you see, tall, strap him, looking like, a real kingly kind of looking guy. And God eventually told him, no, Samuel, you're looking at the outward appearances, but I look at the heart. It is the heart that I know. Why? Because Samuel was influenced by the previous person he had anointed to be king, a man called Saul, the tallest man in all of Israel. Nobody rose higher than his shoulders. A handsome, more than you can imagine. So he's looking for a tall, handsome looking person. God said, no, don't bother with all of that. I look at the heart. Samuel had forgotten, of all the disappointment that he had been brought to tears by the misbehavior of Saul. I'm saying that to point out this is supposed to be a prophet, of course. He's supposed to be a prophet who was able to see things that other people could not see. And yet, he was making a mistake. Yet, he was falling into the same misguided thing of believing that anyone who's to be king has to be of the Saul standard. Very, very tall, very, very handsome, very, very imposing and so on. God said, no. Eventually a little boy that his own father had forgotten that he existed, because it is, as you would say, a book looking after the animals in the field that they brought in, and he ended up being the choice, So what is it about you all that you all believe, Guy Joseph especially, that you all have some kind of prophetic insight into where people's standing with God is, and it is measured by whether you are yellow or whether you are red? This is a debasement and a cheapening and a bastardizing, of the gospel message. Now you, Jimmy Haynes, want to come and to purport to know what is in the heart of Philip J. Pierre and Ernest Hilaire, and probably others too, whether they're genuine about Black Lives Matter. What have Ernest Hilaire and Philip J. Pierre ever done to indicate that they're not true to their belief in and support for Black Lives Matter, especially in St. Lucia? What have they done to indicate that they have any kind of racial bias, prejudice, or antagonism against anybody? Whether they are of Indian extract, whether they are Caucasian, whether they are whatever. They have pointed out what they see as certain biases which appear to be racially motivated and inspired, but they themselves have never practiced it against anybody. Never. Give me one instance where Philip J. Pierre has discriminated against anybody on the basis of race, on the basis of gender, on the basis of ethnicity, on the basis of even politics. Even UWPs, they may not say it openly, but quietly are praising this man for the way he is open and welcoming to everybody and does not try to mess up anybody. Terry?
You need to qualify. Anytime you refer to Jimmy Haynes, you must add of the Soufre Foundation fame.
That'll take too long.
There are fellas they'll tell you, a BA, MA, PhD. We have to put the letters Jimmy Haynes of the Soufre Foundation. Let's get some good news today. As you correctly said, the Prime Minister does not discriminate.
Yes.
He looks after everybody. I think I sent you a little graphic about teachers getting paid this month.
Okay.
Yeah, just put that up. This morning I was so pleased. Sheldon, honestly, I had no intention of going to my open gym this morning. Because last night, I'll be very honest, I was in Babuno, Debara. I'm sagaciating with the guys and, making sure, feeling the pulse. I must have come home a little late because I crashed and I woke up about 5? About 5. But I had to go to the airport to see somebody who brought something for me all the way from Viewfort. And I parked in my usual spot. And one of my former colleagues, who thankfully I employed 8 years ago, gave her a first job. Well, no, in the teacher profession, it may not have been a first job. Say, boss, they still call me boss, I don't know why. Say, sir, I'm very pleased this morning. I said, I had no idea today was PD. Remember I asked you what day it was?
Yes.
I told me it was 21st, and I was like, so early? Yeah. Philip JP doesn't allow people to get broke, sir. By the time you get paid and you blink your eyes, payday again. And she says, boss, for the first time in 8 years, I can breathe a sigh of relief. Because this month, every temporary teacher who has been back on, because they have staffing sometime in March or April, so teachers and principals make their choices. So those who are returning, all of them got paid. And I just happened to be on Facebook browsing, and I saw another principal, well, she's current, and she says, for once, Shelton, she will not have to be writing to financial institutions on behalf of these teachers. Because what we used to have, Shelton, a number of them, they go for loans, and because they were temporary, not sure of being re-employed, not sure of getting a salary, the institution used to call us and say, Mr. Fanano or Mr. Daniel, I have teacher X, Y, and Z here. We have the situation, they have applied, but they are temporary and we're not sure that they'll be rehired. And then we have to give the assurance. Sometimes they take our word on the line because, you have an established relation, they know you, and sometimes we have to dispatch an email. So right now, these teachers have a sense of calm, a sense of peace. That they have, most of them will be made permanent, I guess, at some point. But now they can face financial institutions with ease, and they don't have, to me that was kind of for them unsettling, disheartening, and some of them can get despondent because they're not sure, their status, and some principals play hard and fast with that, when they want to control people, you understand? So now that they are free, they have their salaries, so they can look after the children, those who have children, prepare the children properly for school in September and so. So Philip JPA, on behalf of all the temporary teachers who are now getting the August salaries, we want to say a big thank you, because it has put their minds and their life, they have given them a certain level of comfort that now they don't have to scrunch, so to speak, that they have their salaries in August. And this is, for some people, insignificant, no, that is very impactful in people's lives. So those of you who don't know, when your man tell you if they don't eat, they will not die, and nobody will give us money to give people money. No. This is very impactful. And these teachers are breathing a sigh of relief. And thank you, the Honorable Philip Joseph Pierre.
All right,
Shelton?
Great stuff.
Right.
What do we do now, Terry?
No, we yesterday was also very good, the Prime Minister went down to the police. Yes. I think we have two short videos. Yes. A few seconds. We can play both. Bulletproof vest.
About the bulletproof
vest. Yes. And let's take that in.
Okay. Absolutely.
Our Prime Minister is working. Our government is working.
Just give me a 360. Wait on. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So now, let's go move train. All right. Give me on the bulldog.
All right. Thank you very much for that.
Yes, man. You see,
it's not just it's announced in the budget that it's happening. It's being delivered.
It's not woulda, coulda, shoulda. I was going to do that.
Yes.
We are doing it.
Yes, it's actually being implemented and operationalized.
Yes.
Enough of this take high. We were going to, and it was in the pipeline, and plans were already in place, and we already everything that's the rebuttal. We already had plans, and they were well advanced to do this. It doesn't matter of that, it's happening.
That's right
there.
Take high.
When Philip J.P. tell you he coming, he talking about other things, not about things because he done it already.
Yes.
He not revisiting it. We coming.
Right.
We're going to be doing it.
So that's another problem. And I think in those vehicles, one was for the forensic lab, so that they can take the evidence without contamination and stuff. So I mean, he is doing everything possible to ensure that we're safe. Yes, they are bad boys, and these fellas, their mind burn. They're doing anything, and but we have to support the police. The Prime Minister he's not holding the balls,
Yes.
to buy used TVs and use microwaves, etc. He's giving them the equipment, and the police officers, you have to show slit, because a lot is invested in you, and to whom much is given, much is required.
Yes.
So you want to see a reduction in the crime. Yes, you cannot be everywhere. I get that. You do not know what is in the mind of men when fellas set out to commit crime. You don't know. However, your detection rate, your surveillance, your intel, you have to beef that up. So at least we can be safe. I told you I drove through Marshall last night, and there was not a soul on the streets. I made the sign. I said, "Wow, wonderful!" There was not a soul around. It was very quiet. Normally you see fellows on the blocks like ants. There was none of that.
And you believe this is the result?
I am hoping.
Recent
unfortunate
development.
Yes, unfortunate developments. I'm hoping that that will calm down, because we have to appeal. We cannot be like some other talk show hosts. They clap their hand and they glorify crime and they're happy when there's a murder. No, we have a responsibility to ask the young men and to plead and put that down. You cannot be dying at 26, man. You cannot be losing your life and leaving your children and your women there defenseless. You have to be there to raise your children.
Right.
You have to be men. And the life that you follow in that kind of criminal, that doesn't pay. It's a short life. You have to stop it. See the wisdom in what we are saying. I know everybody has a gun and you feel bad. No, that cannot be right. I mean, you should relieve to see. I mean, the Lord has given us what? Free content? Free content, barring accidents and other unsavory things. But let us try to live to see that, man.
Right. Before we go for the break, Terry, there's a press release that was sent by the SSDF, which I want to read. It's a little lengthy, but I think it's worthwhile, the information it contains. Shazi, I see your incoming call. I can't take it right now. Maybe if it's our line you can't get, or it's me you want to talk to, I'll do it during the break. SSDF launches 2025 summer stimulus program.
Yes.
Okay? And this came out just yesterday, Castries, August. Hundreds of St. Lucians are set to benefit from short-term employment opportunities and community enhancement works through the launch of the 2025 Summer Stimulus Program STEP. The initiative, coordinated by the St. Lucia Social Development Fund, SSDF, in collaboration with members of Parliament, officially commenced on Monday, August 18, 2025, and will run over a 5-day period. The Summer Stimulus Program will engage thousands of individuals across constituencies island-wide to carry out small-scale beautification and community cleaning works in areas not covered by the Roadside Beautification Program. These works include clearing overgrown foliage to improve road safety for motorists, reducing mosquito breeding grounds, and enhancing the overall appearance of communities. Beyond its community impact, STEP serves as an important short-term employment opportunity for thousands of vulnerable persons, including meaningful work that directly supports SSDF's mission of reducing poverty and dependency. Executive Director of the SSDF, Mr. John Victorin, underscored the significance of the program, noting, quote, "The summer stimulus program is much more than a cleanup exercise. It is a lifeline for thousands of St. Lucians who have benefited from the dignity of employment through this initiative over the years. By putting tools in people's hands, we are not only beautifying communities, but also empowering families with short-term income that makes a real difference in their daily lives. This is people-centered development in action. Residents and motorists are kindly advised to exercise caution around work sites and to note that debris will be stored in clear garbage bags for collection. For more information, please contact the St. Lucia Social Development Fund, the SSDF, at, listen to that number, 4526699, 4526699, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Monday to Friday. It could not be more timely coming at this time of the year, because we know the situation with school reopening,
that's right.
the need to get school supplies for your children, school books, whatever it is, that to give people this income earning opportunity means a lot. And also too, the clearing that will take place that they say is not covered by the roadside beautification program and so on. I am hoping that it will also expose all this horrendous illicit garbage dumping, so that they can be picked up and cleared, and that people, at least with that exposure, will have a sense of shame about what they're doing. I want to say hello to a friend of mine from Bonte, very protective of the reputation of her community, who says, when I said, that the Grosley Promenade, maybe the garbage will come down, the waterway comes from either Kaimaji or Bonte. Well, she was quick to tell me, not from Bonte at all. I know. And she says, actually, she has seen non-residents come and put their garbage in the Bonte area. People do that a lot. Yeah. They don't live in the area, they come and they place their garbage in a certain area. Now, if they do it, buy a garbage receptacle on the collection day. It's not a problem, but they do it in a crazy way. There are a couple of messages that before we go for the break, I really want to get through them. Good day, Shelton. I, Terrence and Black Boy, and all the realists on the live. Gwenson provided enough fodder on Newsmaker. He calls it Newsmaker, a different name. Newsmaker. Last night for a massive decacabalsation of seismic magnitude. Mahoney, I tell you'll make me sprain my tongue. Why am I demi long? Good afternoon to Egbert. It says, Shelton, we have to recognize that lying is a strategic imperative of the UWP. They know that there is no path to victory and they have become desperate. It will get worse as we enter the stretch for elections. Well, we'll watch, because there are many of us who are vigilant and watching this so that we can push back against it. Not for the usual political thing, but when you lie to a people repeatedly like that, what you are looking to do is to gain control and influence their behavior by playing with their mind. And there are people in this country, intelligent people in this country, who are determined not to let it happen. Good afternoon to Kendry Frederick, who is, by the way, the campaign manager for Danny Bush.
Great stuff.
He was one of the contenders for the candidacy, an ex-policeman, and he says, good day, sir. I think Mr. Shastny suffers from AIBS, IBS, acute inconsiderate behavioral syndrome. All right, so that's Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. We'll take the break right now, and when we come back, it'll be all yours. The phone lines will be open for your calls and your messages.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar, Labrie Highway. Cool Joint Bar, Victoria Schwazel. Prio's Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prio's Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
St. Lucia, are you ready to tease your way to the World Creole Music Festival 2025 in Dominica? NBC and Real FM is giving one lucky fan the ultimate getaway, an all-expense-paid trip to the Nature Island for 3 nights of non-stop rhythm, culture, and unforgettable vibes. Here's how to enter. Step 1, follow us on Instagram at Real FM Official. 2, post a video up to 90 seconds long telling us why you deserve to be at the World Creole Music Festival 2025. Be bold, be creative, and show your passion for Creole music and culture. Step 3, tag us and send a collaboration invite to at Real FM Official so your video appears on both our pages. Step 4, get those likes up. The video with the most likes by October 10th wins the prize: round-trip airfare, comfy accommodation, and all access pass to the World Creole Music Festival 2025 to enjoy Dominica to the fullest. But hurry, the contest runs from August 11th to October 10th, and the winner will be announced on October 11th. This opportunity is open to all St. Lucians aged 21 and over. Only 1 entry per person, so make it count. Don't just dream about the festival. Tease your way there, only with NBC and Real FM.
Powered by Discover Dominica.
Gotta go with you. I gotta go with you. I gotta go with you.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. The telephone lines are open now for your calls. You can contact us via WhatsApp calling on 758-487-9849. That's 487-9849. And via our local landline 4533-911. We see a call with the name Carlton flashing on our screen. Good afternoon. Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Terry and Shelton.
Good afternoon, Carlton.
Let me address Terry.
Yeah, right.
Yesterday you were talking about contingent liabilities being included in the debt. You are correct.
Mm-hmm.
And what some of the flubbers, Alan Chastney and others have been doing is they have taken it out.
Mm-hmm.
By definition, they should be included in the public debt. And what are the contingent liabilities? In our case, it is the borrowing by the statutory corporations, which the government has guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
And there are contingent liabilities in that if for some reason these statutory corporations are unable to pay that debt, it is the responsibility of the central government to repay that debt.
Yeah.
So when we look at the publicly guaranteed public debt, we not only include the debt of the central government, but all contingent liabilities.
Yeah.
The second thing is that we know there were accounts payable of close to 200 million.
Mm-hmm.
By definition, I think after 6 months, they are unpaid, they should be included in your debt statistics. So Honorable Wayne Gerard was right when he said the debt to GDP ratio hovered around 102%.
2%, yes.
Because a lot of the official statistics do not reflect the short-term liabilities. And I want to say to all those who want to criticize me and Honorable Wayne Gerard, they need to consult the IMF manuals on debt, on international trade, on government finance. This is the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just say that no amount of masters, like the lady in Canada thinks she's arrived, and she's the one putting out a lot of this crappy statistics, not understanding that the methodology comes from the IMF. So she needs to consult the IMF manuals before she poses as an economist.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Augustine, for this.
Yeah. Let's say good afternoon to Cornelia Jacob, Mahoney Oji again, Egbert Andrew, Miguel Favre, we've done so, Kendry Frederick, Cheryl Skeet, Linda Jamari, and others who I think are following the program, Teresa Polio, ex-Senator Posita Theodore also. We want to say greetings to you. Thank you so very much for being with us. We have another call on the line. Real Issues. Hello.
Hi, Shelton.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Terry.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah, how are you guys doing?
Are you okay?
Okay.
Shelton, I've heard you say time and time again.
Speak up a bit.
Yeah, I said I've heard you say time and time again, based on the kind of mayhem that is being perpetrated on our streets by those unthinking thugs, we should treat those incidents as acts of terrorism.
Some of them, yeah.
Or at least some of them. And Shelton, I agree with you. I agree with you completely. Here's what the United Nations General Assembly, here's how they described terrorism. Well, they did say that it's a political description. But then the thing is, according to Wikipedia, there is no legal or scientific consensus on the definition of terrorism. But the United Nations General Assembly described it as criminal acts, and I'm quoting, criminal acts intended or calculated to provoke a state of terror in the general public, a group of persons, or particular persons for political purposes and in any circumstances unjustifiable, whatever the considerations of a political, philosophical, ideological, racial, ethnic, religious, or any other nature that may be invoked to justify them. Now, Shelton, my thing is, we can modify that to say criminal acts intended or calculated to provoke a state of terror in the general public, a group of persons, or particular persons, whatever the reason or reasons.
Yeah.
And we can modify the criminal code to put that in there, or have a separate piece of legislation to deal with that. But Shelton, I agree with you. Those things where guys, those acts where guys just come and spray people, or they shoot indiscriminately into a group of people just because they figure that there's somebody in there they need to take out. So they go in there and they shoot into the group of people, killing how many, injuring how many, spraying people, killing how many. Those acts must be considered as acts of terrorism, and in my opinion, shouldn't carry less than 30, 40, or 50 years. A clear message should be sent, gentlemen. A clear message. Look, I know there are groups like what's his name? What's their names? Headed by Dr. King and Kailash, who did some good work down in Beaufort. There may be one or two other groups who are working with young people to try to get them away from that kind of stuff. But Shelton, there are people, young people, especially young guys, whose minds are already burnt.
Yes.
Burnt. You cannot get those people out of that. Well, let me see. It will be extremely difficult, in my opinion, to get those people out of that. So a clear message has to be sent to those people who figure that this is the kind of stuff that they need to engage in, whether for revenge, reprisal, whatever you want to call it, because they're in some gang or the other, and one of the gang members got injured or killed, so they have to take revenge, even if it means killing other innocent people to do it. So Shelton, I quite agree with you. This thing should be termed terrorism, and we need to introduce suitable legislation to deal with that once and for all.
Thank you very much. It's clear that the people who are doing this, apart from wanting to take out somebody, they want to send out a message.
Yes.
And part of the message they want to send out is to create public fear and terror, to paralyze people with terror that, they
can't move.
They don't want to do anything. They will not want to report what they saw. They will not want, because they have seen it before their very eyes, how the fellas can just come and shoot. And so they will, there has to be the terror component in it. We have a caller on the line. Hi, really.
Good afternoon, Mr. Daniel. Good afternoon, Mr.
How are you doing?
Good afternoon.
I can't speak to the program much because I just came in. I've been listening to the Senate sitting, watching Kokolom Simegwen. But anyways, yesterday I tried calling and I didn't get the line. What I'm calling to compliment the way the Speaker of the House handled the House on Tuesday. And one of the things I really commend him on, not putting Chasney out, although he gave him the opportunity to do so. And I'm so happy that the Speaker didn't play to his bit, because had the speaker put him out of the House, what would have been said. So let me commend him on that. That's my contribution.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, my friend. I see another call which looks like a Martinique phone number. That's probably Shazi trying to reach us, so let's see if we can get him. Hi, Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, gentlemen.
How are you doing, comrade? You okay?
I really want to agree with your one before the last caller. Very positive, because as you know, Martinique with a population of 400,000 people, no death penalty, yet they have had 20 murders so far for the year. Why? Again, because of gun control is very serious. When you are arrested with a gun, you do time. So that is something that we see that the judges are giving guys a slap on the wrist and charging them money that they could pay, like they're not living in that same society and don't understand what we are going through. But my main reason for my call, Shelton, it is time that we put this leader of the opposition in his place. But to be coming on a national, whether it's television or media, and tell those lies over and over again, I think right now we should publish all his lies and all the facts relating to those lies. Because for a man to continue to say that the
port has been sold
our ports, when the Prime Minister has explained over and over again.
And he said he has the agreement, but he's only quoting little paragraphs and little lines in it,
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was saying that the Prime Minister has made it clear that 90% of the revenue of the port is still going to be controlled by SNASPO, right? Now, to say that the port was sold to GPH, so why would GPH give up that lucrative revenue and take only 10%, which is a cruise ship revenue? You know, I mean, come on. If the guy is playing to his about 43% percenters, that's what he's playing to. Because any intelligent person will see the ridiculousness in what he's doing. And the most important part too, Sheldon, he's forgetting the part he's forgetting about this deal is that the ordinary man is going to benefit from it. The people who are selling right now in the different tourism sector, in the arcade and so on, will have better facilities so that they could sell from. And we saw what happened already on the Jeremy Street Plaza. Right, the repurposing of the Jeremy Street Plaza. Right, $1 million given by GPH. You know, so this is what they're afraid of. They're afraid of that kind of development that's going to come out there. People are going to see it. People are going to love it. People are going to benefit from it, and they know that they're going to remain in opposition for a very, very long time.
Yep.
But we have to put this guy in his place.
Okay.
We have to.
Okay, my brother. Thank you. Thank you very much. WhatsApp, call us on 758-487-9849 and on the local landline 4533911. We have another caller waiting. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
I've been listening to your program based on the crime and the violence in the country. And it is really sickening to see so much young people losing their life every single day and nothing has been done to actually solve the problem. Sometimes I ask myself as a young man, what can the government do? What can the community do? What can the people do in order to prevent that or to do something in the sense of preventing young people from losing their life? When I look at it, I see that most of the young people, they are frustrated. Some of them, they come from school, they have nothing, there is nobody there to give them counseling, there is nobody around to give them advice based on what they see in the community, that's what they follow suit. Some of them, they want to have the nice things early in life and they just do whatever they feel like. Secondly, I see that most of the parents too, they lack a lot of moral support, spiritual support for their children. Because some of them, they see their children coming home with certain things. Instead of they question them, they will tell them, just make sure the police don't see you. It has some of them, what they do, they hide the weapons for their children. And when things break out in a different way, they themselves will come on social media and run down the government and say the government, it doesn't matter which party that's in power. They will just say, is the government not doing anything? Look at how much killings are taking place. Marsha, all those places. Viewfort, all those places. Viewfort cooled down for a time. But Marsha, Grass Street, all those places and them. What can we do as people, all right, to save our young people? What can we do as grown-ups? Most of them, they must slander one another because back and forth. This one called with that one cursing this one sending a message for that one. The young people is watching. How will they get a better advice when they see that the head is fighting against each other? You will not find nothing better more than what you're seeing today. When the young people go to Borderley, what you expect that happen? They go in there and they come out as professional murderers, professional killers, because when they sit in a cell with guys that already knowing what's going on the outside, how they doing their business, they teach them to be more professional. So at the ending of the day, how can the crime stop? Have a blessed afternoon.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, we're taking your calls right until 2 o'clock when the lotto will come in live, and we already have someone else standing in line. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon to you.
I hope all of you all are doing fine.
Yes,
we are. Speak up a bit and hold the level up for us.
Thank you. The only way to deal with a mendacious, pathological liar is to put the facts out in the public. We can't change this man. There's nothing we could do. So what we have to do? is publish the facts. He said Kenny Anthony bought the building up in Marisville. That's one of the biggest lies. Put out the documents. He said he paid $1 million to the accounting firm. Get the checks, get the vouchers, get the voting thing at the treasury, and put it out. We going back and forth verbally with him.
Yeah.
We're not going to win it. A liar will always win the argument because he comes up with another excuse. Let me go secondly. When you, as a leader of a country, Minister of Finance, did not take your time to find government money to help the Royal St. Lucia Police Force to get to the true level, but your only intent was to keep balls, you're only compromising the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. Because you know why? I pay $1,000 to come to the ball. I broke the law, a traffic law, and I tell the police officer, you know I was at your ball and I paid $1,000? You know what the police officer will do? Okay, so the next time, don't do it. You compromise the police force. Small things go to big things. And that's as simple as it is, ladies and gentlemen. And the last part, I am tired of hearing Alan Shastney say, my police force, my detail. Alan do not own a detail. And yesterday, both of you all made that clear. The commissioner of police is the one who shall select and send somebody to take care of whatever security measures that he needs. Whether it's for the Prime Minister, whether it's for the Minister of Finance, the Health Minister, whoever it may be, the police commissioner, that's his job. Not Mr. Shastney's job. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We are closing in on the time. Don't know if we'll get any more calls. Terry, is there anything? Okay, we have another caller on there. Yeah, hi caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, Sheldon. How are you?
I'm doing okay, and you?
Sheldon, I wanted to call you since yesterday, and just to support one of the callers who says we need to publish. I think with the benefit of children, the youth, the students who keep listening to those lies every day, I really think it's instructive that we actually publish, actually make it a manual, things you must not do as a prime minister, things we have to, not let happen to us again as a country, and publish it as a document that can be used at universities, at schools, those terrible mistakes and lies. I mean, last night I sat there coincidentally just listening to this gentleman, and you know me already, I don't mention his name, lying. When the Prime Minister, Mr. Hilaire, have the documented proof of everything opposite to what he's saying, but is allowed to just continue going. And I think a few of us, yourself included, people who love to write, should write a good paper or document and publish it. So children will read it. It will be there for history to protect us. We have young persons who are, and the impression on their head can stamp a lot of dampness on their head if they don't read it, the truth about things, supported by documents. But we need to debunk everything this gentleman keeps saying because there's lies. But what's worse is there are people listening. Thanks a lot for a great program, Sheldon.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks, appreciate it.
Shelton, as I'm leaving here, I'm going to get some popcorn.
Popcorn, okay.
Some chips, a dip.
And I think you have in mind 8:30
8:30 tonight.
Can I help you? With Honorable Richard Frederick.
That's right.
Accompanied by Albert Fregis. Will be on NBC television and various platforms, including their own Facebook live page. And I think they'll also be on Real FM radio. Thank you very much, Jaquan, for another great job with the calls and the controls and all of that. Thank you very much, everyone. I think we had another nice one today. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday safely. Same time tomorrow, 12:30 to 2. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. Shelton Daniel on behalf of Terry Fendel and all of us here signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back.
for the midday draw of Thursday, 21st August 2025 were Double Daily Grand 4, 13, 16, 20. Big 4, 9, 0, 1, 4. Big 4 Multi-X FP. Pick 2, 5.
The man, the voice, your hero. The man, the voice, your hero is